And these tables are playing tough.
Yeah. Okay, so starting this match right now, we have Steve LINGLEBACH of Portland, Oregon. He's a Northwest BCA Grandmaster, so he ain't no slouch. But he's also playing a huge favorite, Jayson Shaw from Scotland. He hails from Scotland, and
Jayson's playing like a beast. He's just going after everything and making it.
Yeah, I mean, the guy probably has like a 2-second pre-shot routine. It's amazing to watch Jayson Shaw work his way through a rack after rack, and playing 9-ball. This is kind of like tiddlywinks to him. A lot of these pros, they play 10-ball and
one pocket,
banks. Banks, and
got to keep all their skills in shape.
Yeah, I think Jayson has like a high run and straight pool of like over 200, something like 210 or 225. So
that is
Steve
awesome.
Steve LINGLEBACH's got his hands full, but I also happen to know that Steve is playing very well. He did very well in the Cole Dixon event. I think he came in 5th, 6th, lost to Delbert Wong in an exciting hill match. And there's the break. This is a one-loss side match, race to 8, if I'm not mistaken, Geraldine. Race to 8. And this is Daniel Bush. I'm sitting here with Ariel Carmelli, owner-operator of his own company, Carmelli Cues, at carmellicues.com.
So we have a one-loss match with Jayson Shaw. Is Alex and Santos a one-loss match also?
Alex and Santos is a winner's side match, and this is actually apropos that Alex is on the back table because, it's apropos that Alex is playing on the stream too, because we have Ariel Carmelli here, and Ariel sponsors Alex Pagulayan. So you guys get to see a little bit of both matches, and we'll try to keep you up to date with the score between Alex and Santos as well. They're playing a race to 9, but this match you see on the front table is a race to 8.
Watching Alex Bank last night and Dennis Bank last night playing one pocket, and they were dropping the balls right in the middle of the pocket. Really, really good. It should be a good match over there.
Yeah, well, Santos is he's a tough competitor, and Alex and Santos are friends too. So
yeah, but
we might see some joking around a little bit too. Meanwhile, Jayson over here
is running out.
Is making I think in under 1 minute, he has already run the first rack. It's 1-0.
On the other side, Santos missed the one. Gave Alex ball in hand. See if Alex can run out before Jayson does.
Before Jayson does, or before Jayson breaks. Alex tends to take his time, though, whether he's playing rotation or one pocket.
He's always thinking.
He's one of those deliberate players,
Nothing is just, look, there's the balls. They go in these holes. He's got to stop and look and make sure it's the right shot.
It's amazing to see some of these players play on equal footing, yet they have such different styles, I mean, it all depends on what you're comfortable with, but everybody has their own style. Some people play fast and process.
I don't know what you call what Jayson just
quickly.
Did. It looks like he just got up and whacked at it.
Yeah, he just jumped over the 6, I think, and just so now Steve is kind of hooked on this one ball. So
looks like he can get probably a 2-rail, clip it, send it back up between the 3 and the 9.
Yeah, you're right. And he looks like he prevailed. His shot prevailed, maybe.
Looks like
I
you
don't
left
know.
him open.
Did
You see
Jayson
enough
see
of
this?
it.
He can see it and make it? Oh my gosh.
A pattern right back through it.
Jason's so funny the way he plays because, you know, he's just kind of like, doesn't worry about where the cue ball's going to be too much. He has like a general pattern in his mind, and he just kind of recovers position every time he comes to the table.
Yeah, that should be Jayson's done from here.
This is going to be a very quick visit from you, Ariel.
Like almost stop shot pool for the last couple balls.
Yeah. The Tom Cruise run out.
Everything's laid out perfect. Alex closed out the first match over there.
Okay, so it's 1-0, Alex against Santos.
And 2-0.
Over here with Jayson. By the way, is there anything you can tell us about the cue that you've made for Alex, this year?
Well, the cue that he is playing with was actually one he got last year. We did 7 cues for him. It was a new thing. I hadn't studied how he played, so we got the weights where he wanted them, the balance point where he wanted them.
Yeah.
Well, we made him some cocobolo, some ebony, some bird's eye.
Yeah.
A steel jointed one, just to see what he could, work with.
Yeah.
And when he first started out for one pocket, he was using a 4-point hoppy style bird's eye front steel collar.
Mm-hmm.
And that one played very well for him, and he changed up his game a bit, and he switched to a cocobolo Southwest style 6-pointer. Mm-hmm. And just recently he switched back out of low deflection shafts to a standard shaft.
Really?
And he went back through everything and has now settled on, I think it was a shaft from a bird's eye cocobolo pointed cue that is on the ebony on ebony 6-point cue.
Oh, I see.
So, but that's the particular combination for this time.
Yeah.
Usually, wherever he's at, whatever location he's at, mm-hmm. Depending on the humidity around the table and how fast the cloth is, he'll always change up the shafts, and if need be, change up the butt until he gets the combination that works for him. It's like golf for him. If you had a golf bag and all your clubs in it, he just keeps switching them around until he gets the right club.
That reminds me a little bit of Jose Perica,
Yeah, or
because I've seen Jose switch shafts between, almost twice in one game.
Your Moro Paez.
Moro Paez, another one. Yeah. Who is incidentally still recovering from his stroke last year.
It's a long recovery from that.
Yeah, long recovery, and last I saw, he's doing much better. Jayson made a mistake. He missed the 4-ball.
Doesn't seem to have hurt him.
Well, Steve has countered with a good safety.
Looks like he can one rail.
Like kick and stick this ball?
Looks like he can maybe 2-rail the 4-ball and stick the cue ball behind the ball on the rail.
Behind the, I believe that's the 8-ball, yeah. He's going 1-rail, looks like.
We couldn't. That works too.
He left Steve a long straight, and I'm going to gamble and say that Steve will make this shot, because I do know that Steve is very fluent in the game. He's a grandmaster in the BCA, the Northwestern BCA, and he's no slouch. He also promoted the recent. They put on, with his wife Carissa Biggs, they put on the recent 10,000 added Pac West invitational event that Shane Van Boning, he won.
That was
Portland, Oregon, but Steve has missed his second shot, so look at Jayson.
that is
Just
not healthy for your game, missing that and leaving it where he did.
not playing the eagle eye, no. Oh, now he's just showing off.
You just park that right there.
You just can't tell whether or not, like, something's bothering him today. He's mad, that's why he's hitting the ball so hard, or is he just trying to open up his arm and kind of wake himself up? Because it is still slightly early in the morning for as pool player time.
It looks more like an intimidation thing to me.
Okay, yeah, maybe he's trying to rattle his opponent, punish him. But, also maybe Jayson is just slightly annoyed that he's on the one-loss side today.
Yeah, that could be.
He just lost to Alex Pagulayan. I don't know what this... Do you know what that score was? I think it was a hill match, so...
Somebody made one mistake and it cost them the whole thing.
It looks like that score behind this table, Alex and Santos, is 1-1 now. Alex at the table. So, actually, let me ask you about the, is there any personal attention when it comes to making cues for your customers? Do you have them come in and, the local players, do you have them come in and...
Yeah, if it's, an actual end user comes in, we can take the cue they're currently playing with.
Yeah.
And it sounds kind of funny because they have a cue, they want a new cue. Why would I make them the same cue they have? That's not exactly it. They're comfortable with those dimensions, but there's something in the cue they don't like, or there's something in mind that they do like. So changing a cue that you've played with for a long time is already stressful enough.
Yeah.
But if it feels considerably different, in my opinion, I feel it takes you longer to get used to it. Mm-hmm. So at least if it's dimensionally the same in your hands, but it gives you a little more power, or it shoots the ball straighter for you, all the little things that you had been looking for, that will come easier if everything feels normal. Like when you buy a new car, everything's out of place. It takes you a little bit longer to get used to it. And that's how I feel about the pool cues. So, we'll help them get their balance point. If they like the dimension of their cue, but they wish it was a little more forward balanced, we'll make that adjustment for them.
Sure.
If they want a harder hit or softer hit, we can take the woods that they have picked. And let's say somebody wants a softer cue, but they want an ebony on ebony cue.
That's
a
going
little
to be hard,
difficult to
right?
do.
Yeah.
So we give them the ebony form, but maybe we put burlwood in the points.
I see.
So that'll soften up the feel in your backhand, but still give you that power you wanted from an ebony cue.
So even in just the points itself, it makes a big difference, huh?
Well, if you look at a cue with burlwood points, let's just say 6 burlwood points.
Right.
You've removed the bulk of the ebony.
You're right.
So they're sitting on the handle.
Yeah.
If somebody wants an ebony nosed cue, but they want an even softer hit, we can make them an 8-pointer and have removed all of the ebony for about 3 inches up in front of the handle. So now you're truly playing on the burl. But since the cues are cored, and we set all the cores 90 degrees to the grain to stiffen up the fronts.
Right.
So you have burlwood points, which hit soft, but you still end up with a stiff cue.
Wow.
And obviously, if somebody wants, a longer taper, a more pro taper, or like the Vantage shaft is a hybrid taper between a European conical taper and an American pro taper.
Yes.
We can retaper shafts like that for them. And also, if somebody wants a low deflection shaft on the cue, the butt is the driving force. So we will provide them with the extra power. But if they want low deflection, it's fine with me.
So actually, I was going to ask you about that. I know that a lot of custom cue makers are basically, you know, their claim to fame is their cue and how well they hit, but it's usually, you know, traditionally those cue makers have made their own hard rock maple shafts that hit well. But with this new low deflection, it's not even that new anymore. It's like 10 years old. The low deflection.
That.
Yeah, low deflection technology. What do you do to counter that? As far as, do you just recommend that they buy their own shaft that they prefer, or are you making your own sort of low deflection product?
We did have one, but it took so many shafts to get the proper one. It wasn't really cost effective when you're taking, you know, 15, 20 shafts and tapering them in a way. We're not drilling holes in them and lightening the front. We're actually re-tapering them to make them low deflection.
I see.
But it requires a particular type of shaft on that particular butt.
I see.
So the amount of time it takes to do it is just not really cost effective. A Predator or a Mez works virtually every time. So telling someone, you know, I can make you a single piece low deflection shaft, it's going to run you like $1,000. It just, even saying it to them sounds bad.
Of course.
So Mez makes a solid shaft that's low deflection. They make one with a carbon fiber core, or you can get any of the 3 Predators, and
So Jimi Hendrix has arrived.
yes, we have feedback. The only thing I recommend with people who want to get a low deflection shaft is that you, whichever one you want, try many of them on the butt that you're getting, because one will work better than all the rest.
Right.
We regularly have probably 6 to 10 of the various low deflection shafts in the shop.
Okay.
And, you know, we have a 9-foot table that people can hit with them on to get the one that works right for them.
It's a good shot by Steve. Steve's on the board with 1 game. It's 3-1. We're kind of taking liberties here while these two players play. I'm sitting here with Ariel Carmelli of Carmelli Cues, who is an official sponsor of the West Coast Swing, and also a sponsor to Alex Pagulayan, who's playing on the back table. It looks like it's actually, Ariel, I think their beads say 3-0. So I think Alex is up 3-0 on Santos. Yes, that's correct. 3-0.
All right.
So your horse is still in, yeah. The cues are working, and so's the player.
Hope the legs hold up and he can bring it home.
Yeah, well, you know 9-ball, right?
Yeah, well, these guys level, and literally you make a mistake, and one of them's liable to put a 5-pack on you.
Especially in 9-ball, 10-ball is a lot harder to build those packages, but
yeah, that one extra ball. It's only one extra ball, but the break is different, and seems like they actually run the patterns different.
Yeah. So Jayson now 4-1, and honestly, just judging by his demeanor, I really think he's just annoyed that he's on the 1 loss.
Yeah.
And also that he has to play his match next to the guy that beat him. Doesn't feel too good.
He kind of looks annoyed that he has to rack.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's not that arrogant. He's not. I mean, he has an air. He has an air of confidence.
Maybe it's just carrying the annoyed look from running the balls to racking.
Yeah. It just transcends in everything he does now, right?
And Alex on the back table is calmly playing perfect shape.
Yeah, he's doing all right. How did you meet Alex Pagulayan? Is there a story there?
Yeah, actually, Alex was playing with Mez cues, and really it was just tough to get what he needed.
Wait a minute. Sorry to interrupt you, but that must have been a brief period because I know he was also sponsored by OB.
Yeah, it just, to get to where those guys are, if he wants to work something out with Mez, he's got to go to Japan.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of pro events going on in Texas, but in California he's got a place where he stays, and he's here kind of often.
Sure.
And he had been getting repair work here, and he just was having trouble getting what he needed. It was always something, like he couldn't get it when he needed it.
Yeah.
And he decided that he'd give my cues a try, and it worked out.
I see.
And Jayson is annoyed at running out again.
Yeah, he's over here playing like bumper pool.
It's funny, you look back at Alex like, oh, I'm coming back for you.
5-1. How many minutes are we in? 21 minutes. It's 5-1. Yeah. What about Alex's break cue? Is there a break cue you built for him?
Yeah,
or?
it was funny. It was the one that the shaft caught on fire.
Oh, what's that story?
He had set the cues.
The
down.
Lighting or something?
Yeah, he had set it down, I guess, on the chair, and one of the lights
at the World
was
Cup,
a little
right?
Close, yeah. And you can see it on YouTube. Somebody actually looked over because they smelled the wood burning, and you can hear, as he's shooting, you can hear stuff rustling around. So Alex says something funny, and then he realizes the guy ran over there to grab his cue and put the fire out.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that actually took about 6 months to get right. Went through about 3 different versions of the cue.
Okay. Oh, you mean after it burned?
No, before.
Okay.
That was the actual final version that caught on fire.
And don't tell me that was his first event he was playing with it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He had just picked it up like 2 or 3 days before, and we started out with a normal length cue with a slightly fatter shaft.
Yeah.
And then we worked the taper down, so we got the taper right for him. He's got small hands, but he's got a lot of power going through the arms.
Yeah.
So he wants to get a particular amount of shaft through the cue while having it remain stiff, so he has confidence that the ball is going where he aimed it.
Right.
So after we got that, we got it what we thought was close to stiff enough. He kept saying that he could sort of feel it bend every time he shot. So I told him, well, we can fix the bending by shortening the cue.
Okay.
So he's actually breaking with a 56-inch cue that we kept fat at the back 8 inches.
Yeah.
And gave it the hybrid vantage-like taper up front. It's a little less than a vantage, because his hands are small.
Yeah. But
he can drive that short cue stick the whole way through his hand, and if anybody's watched him break 10 ball, he was jacking the cue ball about 6-8 inches in the air and squatting it on virtually every break.
I did notice that. Both him and Dennis had a similar break style.
He was saying
but
that
he's using a 56-inch cue, Alex is.
Yeah, because the cue now doesn't flex at all. So all of the energy is pushed forward.
I see.
So even though it looks like he's braking harder, he actually slowed the brake down to control the cue ball, but he still gets the same push from the cue ball through the rack. So it looks like he's crushing it, but he figures he slowed his brake down between 5 and 7 miles an hour, but it still looks the same, and he has all the control.
Well, he's
we're gonna
making quick work of Santos here. It's like 4-0 now. You were gonna say what?
We're gonna make 4 more of them for him.
Yes.
we're going to make them all the same and make sure that the methodology works.
Yeah, yeah.
And that will actually be the new break cue that
Oh,
we'll
good.
probably be putting out next year.
So he's also contributing to you setting a new template for some of your design. That's good.
Well, last time I checked, I sort of am not at this level. Not half of
Last
this level.
time you checked?
Yeah, which was last night.
Yeah.
You
need guys like Alex to
test the product.
For R&D.
Yeah, so he doesn't mind trucking it around the world and testing it as he goes and giving me feedback. And it'd be really tough to get better feedback.
Yeah, I agree with you. Being that he's one of the top 3 players in the world. So, while we are talking here, though, Steve LINGLEBACH, he did actually run out the last rack. He's doing well. What I like is that he's keeping the pressure on Shaw. Although Shaw doesn't appear to be feeling much pressure.
He's practically not watching the game, actually.
Yeah. Shaw could start feeling pressure if... Oh, no. Well, there I go again.
I guess we'll make the 2 in the corner, roll down for the 3.
Yeah.
4 will go on the side, 6 in the corner, we'll back it up for the 8 and make the 9 in the same corner as the 2.
You know what? On paper, that looks good, but the way Jayson's been shooting right now, he's liable to just shoot it any way he wants to. I could just see him coming or drawing back right here, going 4 rails around the table.
Maybe just...
Okay, he's keeping it simple.
I wouldn't have called that simple, but okay. I'm not fond of driving my cue ball at a corner pocket. And he doesn't seem to be fond of playing any particular shape that makes sense.
Well, one thing I've noticed about him is most of the time he likes to hit the cue ball firm. So with that firmness always comes 2 or 3 rail shape,
All right, that was a little different, but every ball hit the middle of the pocket except the very first one. Kind of hard to argue with the guy when he's punching him in the center of the pocket.
Yeah. 6-2.
Did Alex and Santos take a break?
Yes, in their match is a winner's side match, race to 9. So, everybody go ahead, check out carmeleqs.com on the internet. And you also have a Facebook page, is that correct?
Yeah. Just my name at Facebook. I'm assuming I just log in on my phone. I couldn't find myself on Facebook if I had to.
Oh, so it's just
my name, not
it's just your name on Facebook. Okay. So visit Ariel's Facebook page and give him a like. Send him an inquiry. And what's your current wait time for new orders?
We have it at 24 months. It'll probably get done quicker than that, but
you'd like to just be safe.
Yeah, I'd rather have the time. Just we're not perfect. On occasion, something happens when you're making a forum, and I'd like to have the extra time to make sure that the customer gets it right. Wish I was perfect.
Don't we all? Well, I don't know. I kind of like imperfections. I like the human quality of imperfections,
It does let you know it's handmade if it's not 100% perfect. It didn't come off of a machine. It had some hands touch it.
Yes.
Jayson is back to just
doing what
out.
Jayson does, yeah.
Maybe the table's just too small for him.
I don't know. You know, he's a champion pub pool player or a black ball player. And they played on those tiny tables that are smaller than bar tables in America. He's a world champion pub or black ball player, which is basically like the British version of 8-ball.
And Jayson runs that out in like a minute and a half.
Yeah, I believe it's already 7-2, and I'm sure we're under 30 minutes. Just at 30 minutes. So.
How long if they just wanted to order a shaft?
If it depends on how they want the shaft, but it'd probably be a month.
So yeah, you match the ring work and stuff like you do.
Yeah,
you make that option.
Most
available.
of the trim rings that are on my cues, you know, we have them in stock. The billets we make regularly, and we make plenty of shafts for other people's cues. So if they want the trim ring matched, it'll take a little bit to, if it's a veneer style trim ring, find the right colors of veneer, and then just get the time to fit it in between either cutting trim rings for us or making a cue. Wow, Jayson just cut that about 90 degrees across the short rail. Fired it in.
What do you think? Jumping. Woof. By the way, guys, there's no jump cues allowed. So the jumping that you're seeing is pure,
full cue.
You know, old school Earl Strickland. Except I don't think he's using a Mayuchi.
Yeah. Nice little shout out to Joe Rogan.
Oh, wait a minute. Jayson's sponsored by Mayuchi now. Believe it or not. I jump with my full Mayuchi cue.
How about that?
I actually have to apologize. Yeah, Jayson Shaw is a Mayuchi sponsored player.
So this is, I think, Dennis Orcolo.
Yes. Some. But,
yes, we make jump cues. We'll make a jump handle on a shaft. Make a break jump cue.
Jayson just rode the 9 right there.
You know, however they want it. If they want if they want a fancy pointed playing cue to break down into a jump cue, that's not a problem either.
Let's talk about your crew now. I know you've had Foch Garcia and Joey Chin working with you a long time.
Yeah, Kent Davis was there for about 2.5 years. Probably the last guy that's going to come through is a guy named Keith Richey.
Okay.
He's an older guy. It's kind of like when Art Quintando went to learn from Barry Zambodi. You know, Keith will probably end up making 10, 15 cues a year just for, just keep himself busy during retirement.
Okay.
But that'll be the last guy who comes through. And Eddie Cohen worked both with me and with Kent after Kent left. So, Eddie's doing really good for himself too.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of good work from him. Are you doing any of the inlay for any of these guys?
Well, Joey's at my shop, so if a cue of his needs to be inlaid, he just goes over to the machine and inlays it.
Right.
Eddie is fully set up.
He's got his own CNC now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Eddie is all full in his own shop. See if Steve can cut this 9-up table. Oh, didn't have to go up table.
Yeah, didn't. Got side pockets, so 7-3, and meanwhile, your horse, Alex, is up 5-0 against the giant killer.
Yeah.
The little giant.
He's taking on the little engine that could do
Santos
everything.
Sambajon, yeah.
You got to give it to Steve. I mean, 90% of the time Jayson gets up there, he just runs out. Steve's not giving an inch.
No, I like Steve's game. He can definitely put pressure on any player. he has been missing a little bit in this match, which is not helping his cause.
No, I saw him when he was practicing. He seemed to be concerned his stroke might not have been as straight as he wanted it. And the couple balls he missed, he rattled them.
That can be tough to fade, because when that's happening, you tend to think about that too when you're playing, and it's just not, it's kind of counterproductive. Baby rattle.
Yeah, he kind of shot that like he didn't really care. He's just going to try and pull shape, and that he drilled that thing. It's almost like he's letting Steve back in.
Well, here's the funny thing. It kind of reminds me of when you play a novice player, and it's like one of those tournaments where
concerned about him.
You let them run out to the 7, and then you're going to get the last 2-ball run out.
Yeah, this guy can actually run out.
Yeah, but Steve can actually run out.
It's going to be a little tough getting shape here on the 4-ball at the foot rail. Oh, he hit that good. And Alex is busy cleaning up on the other table. That make it 6-0 if he makes the 9?
Yes, sir. Santos is slumped in his chair. I mean, he's just completely, deflated. We've kind of seen some steamroll matches here today already. Shane Van Boning defeated,
just beat up on Francisco.
Francisco, yeah, like 9-2. Punished him for every miss.
Francisco missed that 3-ball straight down the rail.
Yeah.
And Shane was getting perfect shape on everything. Francisco played safe. Shane hit it almost 100% ball on ball and kicked back safe on him.
Yeah. Yeah, Shane really took off in that match in the second game, I think, when he hit that 7-9 combo, which was a difficult combo, and he pulled it off.
At least for us, it's difficult.
Yeah, I mean, well, he took his time with it too, so that's enough to gauge that. Okay, so what did Steve just do here?
I don't know. Maybe he's going to try and just
punched
combo bank.
Yeah, I don't know. He punched the cue ball forward to spin around, almost as though he's playing for this angle. So maybe that's what he is playing.
The 8
Ariel.
off the 9, maybe.
Maybe the 8 goes. Well,
wow.
It only goes if you make it, I guess.
That's how that works.
It only goes if it goes. Jayson
might as well be straight in on the 9 because
okay.
It's easy enough.
Hey, easy now. That's it. He thinks it's a race to 9. It's over. Jayson, you've won. Jayson, you've won. You've won.
I'll just keep playing until somebody tells me I'm done, I guess.
Yeah. So anyway, let's zoom in to Santos and Alex's game. So what we've got a little bit of a digital zoom feature here, so that for the audience, when our feature table is done, you can look at the secondary table. So Santos is trailing. What did I say? 6-0 in a race to 9 against Alex Pagulayan. And this is Daniel. I'm sitting here with Ariel Carmelli, CarmelliQs.com. And I'm really glad you came here. I think...
yeah, this was fun. I don't get out too often.
Yeah.
California Billiards has good food, nice atmosphere. It's like 95 outside. It's about 75 inside. It's pleasant, plenty of seating.
It's 27,000 square feet here.
It's a lot of space. No one's crowded. Got lots of space in between the tables. Everybody watching is being polite and quiet. It's very nice here.
Yeah, we've had some very good feedback about the West Coast Challenge events and the Pro 10 event. The atmosphere, that it feels kind of like another Derby City, a little mini Derby City event, which that blows me away that anybody would say that, but
Alex just missed the ball in the corner and made it in the other corner. And then had to apologize to Santos.
Well, I'm pretty sure Santos is just, at this point, he knows he's just having that kind of a day, One of your customers, Christopher Cash, he wanted to say hi to you as well.
Yeah, how's it going, Chris? Haven't seen him in a bit.
He plays with one of your cues. He plays down at the. We see him down at the Elks Lodge in Burbank.
Yeah, he's an LA guy. He's been up to my house a few times. Good dude.
Okay. So you're in Corona. Is that where I'm hearing you're at?
In between the 91 and the 60, right off the 15.
Okay.
Anybody in California knows the 15 is a freeway that takes you to Vegas.
Yeah.
You're coming from the south, you'll quite literally have to drive by my house to get to Vegas. If you need any repair work done, and you're going that way, just give me a call. We'll fit you in.
Is that besides the cue making? Is there like a bread and butter side of it? Like repair. I mean, or do you even need that anymore to do that?
The guys who do only repair, Joe Blackburn, Steve Lomax, Baby's Pro Shop, Mike Gugliassi. Those guys make a good living at it.
Yes,
they're pretty damn good at their job. And it's repair is a necessary part of virtually every business, and if you're good at it, you get a lot of it. It adds to the bottom line.
Okay.
We try and repair stuff so it doesn't break again, which a lot of people, they'll repair it good enough because you kind of want to have repeat customers. I have repeat cue buying customers. If I do a repair, though, I kind of prefer not to see the same repair again, because it kind of means I didn't do my job right.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's one of those things. On occasion you'll do a tip. For whatever reason, the tip pops off. There's nothing you can do about that. But if you replace someone's ferrule, that really should never come loose again.
Yeah.
Or if somebody had a cue where the wrap started to come off and you rewrap it, it really shouldn't come off again.
I agree. It's because it's one of those things where you might be doing a wrap for a cue that you've made, but on that particular day you might have this workflow of 15 other things that you're doing that day. So there's always that chance that maybe something was overlooked.
Yeah,
but then if someone comes to you and says you need to redo this wrap, now your full attention is on this guy's wrap, and you you made a mistake.
And
let's just get this right.
We all get in a
maybe
hurry.
there was a step in the process that was missed, or maybe you haven't fully trained somebody, or
I'm doing all the wraps, and thankfully I've never had one of mine come back because it came loose.
Good.
But when you buy, like, let's say a less expensive cue, one from China, depending on the price point you purchased it at, sometimes I've seen actual handle wood shrink. And
that does happen, doesn't it? Sometimes
it'll shrink away from the wrap, and you can you've seen them where someone just takes the wrap and spins an entire section of it. When you glue the wrap, it kind of fixes itself in place, and if whatever's below it shrinks away, the wrap is now kind of collapsible, and you can turn it, and you know they made the cue real fast, and the wood was real moist. China is a high humidity area. Even you stick it in a container in plastic, it's still in high humidity. It comes here and it dries out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And if it's not sealed properly, it will shrink.
So here's a question too, as it's now Santos on the board with 7-1. So I had a Jerry Olivier cue, and I played with it for 3 years.
Out of Texas?
Oh yeah, he's great. I mean, I just went and saw him in Texas, and he's love his stuff. And I played with this. I had a plain Jane. It was when I was getting back into pool, and I, pulled the trigger on a $600 plain Jane. It was a beautiful cue. I played with it for 3 years. But one day I missed a 6-ball. Now, I wasn't angry and I didn't whack my cue, but I just kind of, with the weight of the cue, I kind of I missed the 6. It kind of dropped it to the table.
And the cue breaks just behind the joint?
At the burl. There was a burl,
on a bird's eye cue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it broke at the burl. Now, does that happen often, even after 3-4 years?
Well, it's not a defect in the wood. It's not anything Jerry did.
No, I know that.
What you have on the front of the cue is a 29-inch lever. So imagine like in the old cars, when you had to jack them up, right?
Yeah.
You had the little bar there that was about 18 inches.
Yeah.
And you could jack a 4,000-pound car up with it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take a lot of pressure. I mean, it's basic physics. You put a 29-inch lever on something, how much power do you need to create enough pressure to snap what's behind it? When we set the pin, there's a hole beneath the pin. It's pretty impossible to get a pin
all the way through
flat, because what happens is it shifts to the side a bit. Even in a pressed hole, if it's touching the bottom, the pin won't be straight. So everybody drills and bores just past where they need. That gap, even filled with glue, is still a gap. You've removed the glue.
Yes.
Now you get the grain in a particular direction. In this case, it would have been horizontal.
Sure.
And you applied pressure to it.
Yeah.
And that lever, along with the pin, just broke it.
Yeah.
That happened to me once on a break cue for my friend Frank Rice.
Okay.
And he broke, and when he pulled his hand back, he had the butt and about 10 inches of form in his right hand, and a 29-inch shaft and 2 inches of butt in his left hand. So we just made him a new cue.
Sure.
Pool players in superstition, he'll never break the balls as hard again, even if you give him a new front. That's also when I started coring the cues.
Yeah.
Because you would have to break the core and the wood outside of it. And when you rotate it 90 degrees to the grain on the outside piece, you can't ever flex it in the way that it'll break.
That's I appreciate that explanation, and that's kind of what I figured. Now, Jerry Olivier, he was a stand-up guy. I sent him a picture, and he said, "You know what, Daniel? He didn't know me from Adam. I just, my only exposure to him was buying that, because this was actually before I started POVPOOL too." Said, I'll give you any of my other cues, just 20% or 10% above. I don't remember. I think it was 10% above cost. And so what I ended up doing was spending $750 and getting myself like a $1,300 cue. So
yeah, that's
and I played with that for a few years as well.
But that's customer service.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry's just he's a great guy. And,
and you have at some point in every business's life, you're going to have to eat something.
Yeah.
And in Jerry's case, it was a cue. And he's probably ate a few cues.
But it wasn't even his fault, and it was 3 years after the fact,
It's still, you just have to make it right.
Yeah. And I actually wasn't even asking him for a replacement, or I just said,
You're just sending him a picture of what happened.
Is this possible to fix,
They do fix them.
But it's just an epoxy deal, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, and it probably will never break in the same spot again.
Yeah.
Because the glue, if you use a really good 24-hour glue,
Yeah.
you can get it back pretty solid, but you'll never be able to hide the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's pretty hard to get it back to straight.
I don't remember what I did with that thing. I think I gave it to somebody and they fixed it or something.
I fixed the peach hour that happened to, actually, for Joey Chin's dad.
Oh, yeah?
And
Actually, I want to give a shout out to Joey, by the way, who couldn't make it to this event.
Yeah, he's sitting back down in Riverside. I think it was his grandma's over 100th birthday.
Yeah. So no, don't worry, guys. It's not because Ariel's here. He's got him stuck in the shop.
Yeah, I actually unhitched the iron ball so he could leave.
Yeah, to go to see his grandmother.
Yeah, I'll allow him to go to a birthday party.
I think he's going to be playing at the Hard Times and Iron Ball event, so you guys will get to. Maybe I'll put Joey in the box with us too to commentate a couple matches. I always like his sense of humor. Joey
When
Chin.
is the Hard Times event?
July 15th and 16th, which I'm sure you'll come to. Maybe try to stop in.
I will ask.
As long as you
permission.
can get the ball and chain removed.
Yeah. I'll see if I can make my way out of the shop.
By the way, is there anyone you want to say hello to?
I could say hi to my wife.
You could say hi to anybody you want.
Hi, honey. Hi, kids.
You could say hi to, you could say hi to Kevin Trudeau if you want.
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah, I think he's still doing time.
Yeah. He was an idea guy. Unfortunately, he wasn't an
idea.
execution guy.
I think now, after all of that, pool might be starting to bounce back a little bit,
Yeah, there's a lot of cue collectors out there with a lot of spare money who could do that.
Disposable money.
Yeah, matter of fact.
Cue collectors, yes.
Yeah, you can see them at the ICCS show the weekend after.
Is that in Kansas?
No, it's in Vegas. I don't know where in Vegas. It's the week after APA Nationals, the next weekend.
So it's well. Wait a minute. You say ICCS, but so that's also unrelated to the BCA trade show.
Correct.
Because that's happening after APA, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the BCA tournament, BCA trade show, and then APA.
Oh, the trade shows after the APA. Trade shows after the BCA.
Yeah.
And then the APA. And then the ICCS.
Right. And you can go see, as a matter of fact, Eddie Cohen is showing for the first time this year there.
Oh, great. Good.
And you can go see, I believe it's open to the public on Saturday. And you can go see all the really, really expensive cues from a bunch of top cue makers. And they're actually selling them. I guess they're in the business of selling cues. They should sell them.
Yes, I have a friend from Amarillo, Texas, named Joe Bauska. He's making a new jump cue, which is made of that, I think, what is it, PRC compressed wood? I don't know. But anyway, it looks like diamond wood, but it's not. Anyway, he told me there's a cue collector show that I should probably, I should definitely attend, which I would love to attend actually this year.
It's always nice out there. They have a different theme every year for what the cues look like. There'll be cues up for cue of the show.
So will there be an ACS representation there? Or ACA? I mean, American Cue Makers Association.
I know a bunch of the guys are in the ACA, but I don't think it's an ACA affiliated event.
Right. No, that's what I mean. Like, will there be any representation there? Probably.
Pete Tonkin should be there. Drexler should be there. Richard Schutte, Jerry McWhorter probably will be there. Billy Stroud retired, so he won't be there.
Is there also a tournament there?
I think a couple of times they've had a collector's tournament and a cue makers tournament. Which kind of isn't fair because Ken Kerner would usually play in the collector's tournament, and that guy's a beast.
He's stealing.
Well, I mean, he owns a pool hall, Diamond Gyms up in Nanuet, New York.
Okay.
And I mean, the guy is he probably plays Facha Speed.
Okay.
I don't know how all the other collectors play, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say they don't play Facha Speed.
Yeah. So actually, this is a good line of questioning. Actually, who's the best cue maker pool player?
Well, Bobby Hunter.
Okay. All right.
That's a 14-1 champion.
Yeah.
If they're playing one pocket, you got to like Dennis Searing.
Okay. Yeah.
And I mean, when Billy was around, Billy Stroud was a road player back in the 60s. That dude was solid for years.
Yeah. I know. I'm putting you on the spot.
No, I mean, Jerry McWhorter. He was married to I forget what her last name was. Jan McWhorter. She was a professional women's player. And
which I don't think Jerry knows this, and I'll just say it for the record. Jerry McWhorter probably makes the best. I'm not gonna say he makes the best cues. Jerry McWhorter is by far one of my favorite cue designers.
Yeah, he does an excellent job. They are beautiful. They had I want to say a Greco-Roman theme one year for the ICCS show, and everybody was making columns, something that looked like the Colosseum, or it was definitely a Greco-Roman thing. He actually built a cue that looked like ruins.
Oh wow!
Which was the end of that empire, and it was cool.
We are taking such liberties during this match. Alex Pack. Oh, they're done. Alex won 9-2. Ariel. We're done, man. You're off the hook. You've done a great job here today.
My horse made it all the way. Hey, but you got Mr. 400 there breaking on the close TV table.
Yeah, I can toggle over to him.
He's with Steve, and I can't see who the other guy is.
Steve and Skylar Woodward.
I got a glare here. I can't make him out.
Well, yeah, everybody looks like a big silhouette, don't they? So, where are you from originally, Ariel?
California.
Okay.
Can actually say I was born here.
And you're Italian, I'm going to assume.
Nope.
No? Sicilian or?
No.
Carmelli.
100% Jewish.
Ah, okay.
That was a long story on the name change. When immigrants come here, the guy at the signing them in would give somebody rearrange their name.
Yeah.
Our last name was redone long time before we got here.
Okay. Long before you got on the boat.
Before my dad came here.
So your dad, you're second generation then, or first generation? Well,
This is how I know I was a planned child. My dad turned 55 days after I was born.
Okay.
So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but he actually came.
So they were aiming for his birthday.
He came here before my mom and my oldest brother and sister get a job.
I see. So you could, if you hadn't had the name change, you could be Ariel Smith.
That could have been a lot of things.
For some reason, Smith Hughes just doesn't have that ring to it that Carmelli does. I like the name Carmelli.
It's a little more memorable.
Steve LINGLEBACH coming over. I'm gonna have a quick word with him, dude. What did you do to him? He looked like he was angry. We were right. Yeah, we were. No, I know. No. Yeah, yeah.
I didn't hear. What
Steve's making an observation that we didn't actually notice. I apologize for that. The wing ball went in at like 200 miles an hour on the break every time Jayson broke, and so Steve's basically making us aware of that.
Ah.
So.
I mean, I had a scout who made it 9 in a row, and Leanne made it once. Because I just grew up thinking, just
No. So,
Right.
there's an art to making it happen. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So actually, what you're looking at right now is 3 professional players now are trying to work out Jayson's break. That's what they're doing right now. They're racking and breaking, and they're trying to work out what he did.
So that's win the lag, make the wing ball run out.
Yeah.
I like that way of thinking.
Yeah, that
opponent
way
might
of
not.
thinking. Yeah.
He was taking his time racking a few of those racks.
Yeah. Yeah. He might have taken a couple of lessons from Joe Tucker there, racking secrets. That
I don't.
maybe Joe, if Joe's watching, he can contact us and let us know what the heck he's doing, because these guys we got 3 pros trying to figure it out right now. So wow, that's interesting. I didn't notice that. I mean, we were just kind of.
We just kept talking.
Yeah.
And not paying attention to the
Hey,
game.
buddy.
That we were supposed to be commentating on.
Yes, I know.
We were not very good at that this time around.
No, we weren't. But you know what? I tell you what, it's been a pleasure to have you with us. I'm gonna take a quick break while we warm up for the next match, and I'm gonna find out who is next.
And I'm gonna go congratulate Alex.
Yeah, go do what you got to do. I'll go do what I got to do. Thanks for watching POVPOOL, and once again, very happy to have with us Mr. Ariel Carmelli from CarmelliQs.com. Thank you, Ariel. And go ahead, visit his website. Hit him up on Facebook. Send him a message and thank him for working with the West Coast Swing events. Keep loving pool. We'll be back. Yeah. Are up next.